Good afternoon and welcome to Who's Right. I'm Sandra McFadden, and today we have as our guest Trish Schaefer. And Trish, hi, how are you?
Hi, thank you, Sandra.
And you are running for the Assembly,
I
right?
am, yes.
In District 46.
District 46.
That's it, okay. And that's Dane County?
It is Dane County. District 46 is a long rectangle that encompasses Sun Prairie, Cottage Grove, Stoughton, some of the outlying areas as well. With the new redistricting, there's been kind of a bite taken out of the west side of Cottage Grove, and we also dropped on the Oregon part, going down to about Pleasant Springs or Dunkirk area.
Okay. Now tell me, exactly what will you be doing if you win this seat in the Assembly? What is your job going to be?
Well, as a state assembly person, my job would be to get belly to belly with the constituents of that area. You know, to on a regular basis go out and talk to the people, find out what is driving their thoughts and their concerns, and then bring that to the floor in the form of proposed legislation that may help my areas to, of course, grow more jobs. That's a real big one and a big concern for everyone today.
And how is the area doing right now?
Well, the area is doing better, of course. You know, we can always get better. It would be my main focus to help good companies to maintain and grow more jobs, and these jobs, you know, to be able to last an economic downturn, and to, you know, jobs that would also not require taxpayer subsidy or government mandates.
Well, that's the whole thing, the economy and jobs. That's what everyone is concerned with right now. So that's what your constituents would want you to bring to them if you go into the Assembly. How would you go about doing that? Do you have ideas how you would do that?
Certainly.
Okay.
You know, I do believe in Wisconsin being an economic leader. And the way that this is going to happen is not by chance or by accident. This is going to be a real commitment on the part of our state leaders to have that commitment for fiscal restraint, you know, lower taxes, and with regards to regulation, you know, we really need to be concerned with regulation. It is a growth prohibitor, and our regulations need to be reasonable and practical.
Right. Governor Walker has worked really hard at making Wisconsin pro-growth for jobs.
Certainly.
Has he helped in your area at all? Has it made it better for people to want to come to that area and work? Have you noticed any difference?
Certainly, you know, we have noticed a lot of employers coming to the area, a lot of more jobs being created, and that's a very big positive for us. On a larger scale, the regulations do, you know, from a federal level, the regulations being imposed upon businesses, it does overreach as well, and that's a concern for us. But Governor Walker is on the right track, making Wisconsin more attractive to businesses.
Right, that's good. So what do you think is the most important thing that you could do if you win an assembly seat? What would be your #1 goal?
Well, my #1 goal would be to stop the spending that my opponent, Gary Hebl, has been for the last 8 years of his time in the Assembly. He has been a complete cheerleader for the failed policies of the Doyle administration. The bad budgets that have been passed have all been backed and supported by Gary Hebl, and this is really part and parcel what has motivated me to put my hat into the ring for this position.
Is that right? So you've followed his career and you've seen what he's done?
Correct.
And can you give me an example of something that he's done that you would say I can't tolerate that anymore.
Well, you know, for starters, Sandra, I mean, how much time do we have? But,
well,
you know, for starters, you know, you can take a look at his record. It's easy to access. And, you know, he's a fan of Obamacare. And I believe that is one of the single biggest prohibitors of growth and economic recovery.
Right.
And additionally, you know, he has voted against the latest budget and would be in favor of returning Wisconsin to where we just pulled ourselves out of. You know, recognizing that we have been able to take care of a $3.6 billion deficit, and that doesn't even count the millions that we had in unpaid debt. That's not even counting that. Additionally, I would like to see the Assembly, you know, introduce some legislation that's going to have the state of Wisconsin actually use the GAAP accounting procedures, which would bring us to more of a balanced budget, because it would count our outstanding, not yet received bills, which currently that doesn't count that. Like, for example, if I had said, you know, you're going to save $1,000 this year, and you do so by not paying your $800 mortgage or your $200 car payment. And then that was your $1,000 saved.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's happening right now.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of just trading one hand for the other.
It is sleight of hand, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and additionally, an impetus for me to decide to put myself in, you know, what is maybe an unfavorable political scene these days, and going for the state assembly seat is my son, excuse me, last year, you know, as a kindergartner, came home from public school telling me that Barack Obama, I should vote for Barack Obama because he will pay the teachers more.
Oh, no.
And as a kindergartner. And so that really concerned me.
That's all you need to hear.
Exactly. And there's one thing to have your political opinions. I think everyone should have their opinions and be involved. But it's another thing to bring them to the children. And it really did upset me to see what happened last year with the collective bargaining and the fight with the teachers not willing to work. And it really brings forth, I guess, I don't agree with FDR much, but you know, one thing that I would agree with him is that the public unions are dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
They're dangerous for the communities that they are to serve. You know, we are risking having our public servants become our public masters, and when at any point they can decide to not do their task, whether it be to protect us on the streets or to guard the prisons or to teach our children, that they could just decide to up and revolt until their demands are met, is a frightening prospect for someone, you know, like myself, a business owner in the community.
Right, that's true.
Right.
Well, it sounds like you had like sort of an awakening when you just said, oh, well, I had enough. I just can't take it anymore. I'm running for office.
That's so true, Sandra. And you know, I have to share with you, a friend of mine brought my attention to, when I was sharing with her my story about how my son brought home political discussions, you know, at age 5 from the school. And, well, a friend of mine had shared with me a YouTube video where Gary Hebl is, you know, fist in the air shouting, shame, shame, from the assembly floor.
Oh.
And I just really felt that, I felt a big offense to that. And, you know, he didn't have an opponent in 2006, and he's now trying to run for his 5th term. And it just made me motivated to make sure that he would at least see an opponent, and that I would at least try my best to stand up for what the people, the constituents of District 46 and the state of Wisconsin, what they really do believe and want.
I see.
I believe that Gary Hebl has given up on listening to the constituents. And the thing that I find the most shameful is that the situation that we currently are in is that we have a few special interest groups that are, in fact, leading some of our elected officials around by the nose.
Yeah.
And that is shameful.
Maybe he feels like he doesn't have to
Absolutely.
work hard anymore. Maybe he just feels like he doesn't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you his only opponent?
At this point, I am aware of, that is correct.
How do you see yourself going forth from here to run against him? Because, of course, it's all about a campaign and money and management and things like that. Do you have a campaign manager, and do you have a campaign in place at this point, or are you getting that together?
Well, Sandra, we have filed, officially the campaign exists, and we are there to fight this fight. Schaefer4assembly.com. And, it's estimated, and this is also part of the system that is frustrating, but it is estimated that for me to take a run at this individual and, bring what I believe is the people's voice to be heard at the down at the Capitol, is a $75,000 proposition. So certainly it's daunting.
Yes.
And, it is something that I cannot do alone. And, of course, I'm going to need a lot of support, with the maximum contribution being $500. But the good thing about the Assembly is that it's one of the last positions as you go up the level of legislature that you do the doors, and that you get out there and you talk. The candidate gets right out there and talks door to door, toe to toe, and really find out what they're thinking. There's a lot of frustration right now with the political system, and for a lot of good reason. This year, 2012, and these elections that we have ahead of us, we must bring the people back into the driver's seat.
Right. And I know you're right. If you go door to door and meet the people that you want to get the vote out to, and you want them to vote for you, that's going to get you more votes than anything else there is, because they are your constituents. They're in your county. They're there for you.
They're one of me. I am one of them.
That's right.
I'm a small business owner, a mother of 2 young children. My husband and I, we've lived in Sun Prairie for 16 years, and we've owned our small business for 16 years as well, and we employ about 40 people in with offices in Madison, Sun Prairie, and Racine. So going through the troubles and the dealing with the additional regulation, of which is estimated to cost small business owners about $10,000 per employee, just to handle making sure we're on the right side of the law.
Right.
It's a part-time job in and of itself.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm so glad you came to us today, and we will be happy to have you on Who's Right. But before we leave you, I would think you should spell your website again for us.
It is www.schaefer4assembly.com, and that's SCHAEFER 4assembly.com.
Perfect. All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We're glad to have you with us, and come back soon. Bye-bye.